Hello, once again. I am Sonia Barrett, as you know, and today I'm going to do another little chit chat. This time, the chit chat session is about your 2015 hologram, a new year, a new cycle. I really felt that it would be appropriate, and I think that some people may find some clarity in what I'll share in the next few minutes. I've done quite a bit of workshops over the years on time cycles, engineering of reality, engineering of the matrix or a virtual reality. So if you're not familiar, I would suggest going to spiritinform.com, which is my website, and all the workshops and lectures that I have done in the last 8 years are available there. Anyway, I think that, talking about this today, what I hear from people over the years is you have some people that look at the new year as, oh, it's just another year, just another year. Then you have people who look at it as an opportunity to, set some conditions that they're going to go by, New Year's resolutions. Then you have people that sometimes aren't so happy about it because they're getting a year older. So people have all these various ideas of what it is, but what I realize is that everybody looks at it as the cycling through of 12 months. And I love to use the word cycle because it really starts to put things into perspective when we recognize it as that. What we have is the idea of cycling through of 12 months, and then it starts over again and again and again and again. And I will try not to get into complexities with just giving some brief explanations here. But yes, it is a cycling through of 12 months, according to the rules and conditions then of the game system, the virtual reality that we look at as the universe, we call a universe, or we call the earth. They're all virtual expressions. They're all holograms, basically. And what we do in our own lives is we replicate that same principle, those same conditions, and we have our own personal and private holograms that we operate from, that we bring various experiences into that hologram. So everything is sort of a replication of a much bigger system, a much bigger concept, but we don't really look at it that way. Now, why I find this to be important in bringing this up today is because what we need to realize is that although we have our own hologram, which is our own reality, our own blueprint for what reality looks like for us, and the people that we bring into it and the experiences that we bring into these holograms, what we don't realize is that we design our holograms, our reality, our own virtual playground, personal virtual playground, based on the information that has been basically programmed into us about the universe, about the planets, about planet Earth. We are coming up with or constructing our own idea of reality then based on that information. Now, much of that information is extremely limited and limiting. So you find that the life that you live, because you're not identifying it as your hologram, you just know that you're living from day to day and the things that you experience. But the life that you live you know, some people wonder, you know, why they keep experiencing the kind of experiences that they're having, the patterns that continue to repeat in their lives, or they may be content with the life that they're living. But what I do realize is that, yes, we're operating off of the data that has been given to us, much of it obviously deep down in our subconscious mind, on an individual level and on a collective level. We have an interpretation of what we think reality is, and that's how we're constructing our own experiences about life, the blueprint that we have in our brains about what reality looks like for us. So, in entering this new cycle, and again, you know, we're talking about what we view as a 12-month cycle, which obviously has everything to do with the concept of time, which I will not attempt to get into in, in this discussion because it really is very huge. But I'm saying all of this to say how necessary it is for us to want to dig deeper, for us to want to understand more, because the more information that we have, the more open we are to understanding beyond the information that has been given to us, that's been programmed into us, is the freer we can begin to feel, and our holograms, the reality that we experience, becomes even more expansive, not limited by the interpretations that we've been given, you know, by our you know, scientific community. And of course, our scientific community is absolutely awesome in the sense of the information that they give to allow us to have some understanding about what's possible, and, you know, just the general nature of reality. That, however, though, there is a tremendous amount of limitation in there, because we are attached then to the information that has to do with the physics involved for the universe, for our Earth, for our general environment, the cosmic environment, and the Earth environment. Our bodies are absolutely tied into that information. We live our lives based on that information. And what we are told is we're given boundaries then as to what we can and cannot do. And so we live from that restricted space, more restricted than I think we can even imagine. But for those who are open to seeing beyond those restrictions and realizing that, wait a second, there has to be more, or do we really have to live by those set of rules that we've been given? And again, why is that important? Because when we can at least open our minds to realizing that they are very limiting bits of information, then we can really begin to have more expansive experiences in our hologram and in the manner in which we engineer our own lives. We can change the blueprint that we have been operating by, because we realize that we have constructed and continue to construct the experiences that we live based on the limited information that we have, limited and limiting information that we have about our cosmic environment and our earth-based environment. So the 12-month cycle really represents the cycling through of a set of programs which we use to define this virtual experience, this matrix then within which we operate. um, a system or matrix then which we define as reality. So that's really what we're dealing with when we are looking at this 12-month cycle, which is why it can be broken down into a second. This 12-month cycle really is based on that which is beyond a second. I use a second because that's how we view the clock. We can begin with evaluating or recognizing 1 second or 2 seconds and going into 60 seconds, and then taking that further into 60 minutes, and then 60 minutes then goes into the 12 or 12 hours, and then 24 hours, and so then we have a whole day. So we're looking at a series then of programs that are really basically mathematically defined. And that's as much as I will say on that, because that is really a much deeper, um, uh, much bigger information than in trying to really understand what we're dealing with. But what I do know is that it is not a good or a bad thing. It is a set of programs that are essential to um, our understanding at this time as a species on a collective level. Now, on an individual level, that's a whole different thing, because the rules change. The rules can change when, on an individual level, we begin to transcend those base programs of what that means. Now, it doesn't mean that we stop celebrating those cycles. I think what happens is you begin to look at things a bit differently, and instead you realize that the 12 months cycle, when we say the new year is coming, you begin to celebrate the game itself. You begin to really celebrate the game experience itself. It has nothing to do with calculating time or living by that clock that says you're getting a year older. It has nothing to do with that. You begin to celebrate the experience, the opportunity to participate in this grand experience we call life, this grand virtual experience, this grand hologram. And the fact that you can now say to yourself, what will my hologram look like in this new cycle, this new concept coming up, this 2015 concept coming up? What will my hologram look like in that newly generated cycle? So there's a great many things here. I like to celebrate many of these things. I celebrate the experience. I celebrate my understanding. I look at all of it as an opportunity. And it certainly has changed the game for me in the sense of how I view much of it. So I don't feel at war with any of it, because you start to understand your role in it and how much you can begin to express your mastership of it, how much you are a part of what it looks like, how much deciding you're actually doing. What it appears to be is really more contingent on what we understand about all of it on a collective level, and once again on an individual level. So without getting into much more, because if I keep talking, my natural ability is to just keep talking and getting into more and more, because all of this fascinates me. I think it's just so fascinating to dig in, to dive in, um, and to see just how deep the rabbit hole goes, and what you can be, what we can become, what we have the opportunity to experience. And for those who get what I'm saying and it makes sense, okay, great, more power to you. And there probably will be some that don't, and they leave a couple of comments about she's talking nonsense. And that's okay. That's perfectly okay, because for you it is nonsense, and I completely respect that. Um, for me, it is awareness, it is an understanding, and for it to be nonsense to somebody is just another part of the game as well. So it's awesome. Whatever your interpretation is of it, it is absolutely awesome. So have a wonderful entrance into this 2015 cycle, and may you have fun looking at the hologram that you have lived in this 2014 cycle, and have fun in making changes, creating changes, and diving in and trying to understand more about how you actually engineer your reality, digging into a bit more science and being open. And that's what I wish you. So until next time, see you then. Take care. Bye.